Last week, our next guest announced that she has battled COVID-19. Please welcome my friend, Pink. Hi, Pink.
Hi.
How are you?
We're doing all right. We're doing okay this week. I don't even know what day it is, but this is a better week than the last previous ones have been for our little household. Jameson's two
So,
days now without a fever, which is really a
wow.
huge relief.
So tell me how long ago did, because I was watching you post all these, day one, day two, quarantine, and you were keeping busy. What did you start feeling? And was it you or Jameson first, or how did this happen with both of you getting sick, and how did it start and when?
Yeah, so it started with Jameson actually, and he's three. 3-year-olds get sick all the time. But he started with a fever March 14th. We've been quarantined since March 11th. Um, Started with a fever for him, and it would come and go, and then he would have stomach pains and diarrhea and chest pains, and then a headache, and then um, sore throat, and all it just sort of was just all over the place. Every day was some new symptom, and then his fever stayed; it didn't go, and then it started going up and up and up and up, and at one point he was at 103, and you know, I'm calling my doctor, like, what do I do? He's like, there's nothing to do. He's 3. We're not seeing this take 3-year-olds out. So just stay at home. And I'm like, okay, well, there's only so much Tylenol you want to give a kid. So it was terrifying at one point. Then I got sick, maybe March 16th. In hindsight, it all makes sense, but when it's happening, it's such a weird experience that you don't put it together until after the fact, but or until days go by. March 16th, I didn't feel good. I was really tired. I kind of had the chills a little bit. I felt nauseous, but I never had a fever. I never had what they tell you to look for. And then all
Wow.
of a sudden, I've had asthma all my life, and really really bad asthma, to the point where sometimes I end up in the hospital. But it's been years and years and years. Maybe if I'm 40, it's been probably 30 years since I needed a nebulizer breathing treatment in the hospital or anything like that. And at a certain point, maybe around March 18th, March 19th, March 20th, when his fever was staying and going up, I woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't breathe. And I needed a nebulizer for the first time in 30 years. And I have this inhaler that I use, a rescue inhaler, and I couldn't function without it. And that's when I started to get really scared, because of all the stuff. You can't help but watch the news every day. And I'm like, oh my God, like, wow, all the crazy stuff I did, like, this is it? Touch my face? Like, this is the way it ends? Um, so, yeah, so we were able to get a test, and I took that chance, and I tested myself. We could get one test, so I tested myself. It came back a week later, positive, and I knew it. I already knew it. I knew that that's what it was going to say. And then, at one point when he started throwing up and saying that he had chest pains and that it hurt to breathe, that's the point where you just kind of like, okay, are we going to the hospital? Like, what are we doing right now? Because this is the scariest thing I've ever been through in my whole life. So, um, we were a couple of days maybe out of trying to like see if we needed to do something more. But at this point, what can you do, right? There's nothing you can do. You ride it out. And uh, we started to get better. And slowly, 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 his temperature stayed the longest. But I started to feel better. I stopped being nauseous. I never had a fever. And it really is just a roller coaster. I had a sore throat. First, I woke up and my sore throat was on the right side of my throat. Then it was on the left side of my throat the next day. Then it was both sides the next day. Then I couldn't breathe. Then I was breathing fine, but I didn't feel it's there's no rhyme or reason to this. And at one point I was praying, like, and I realized how ridiculous I sounded. Like, I thought they told us our kids were going to be okay. We were told that our kids are going to be okay. And I think when people started explaining what this disease is, it was too early to be able to name it completely and tell everybody what to look for. And, I've talked to so many people that can't get tested, friends that are like, yeah, I think we were sick in February. Like, oh, I think we had that. I mean, I don't know. I think testing is really, really important. It's very controversial to people that I was able to get my hands on a test. I would say two things to that. I would say, you should be angry that I can get a test and you can't. But being angry at me is not going to help anything. It's not going to solve the issue of the fact that you can't get your hands on a test. You should be angry about that. And we should work together to try and change that. And number two, tell me anybody with a sick 3-year-old that if they could get their hands on a test wouldn't take it. And if they say that, I'm calling bull. So yes, it is. The healthcare system is jacked. Government is in a way failing us by not being prepared. But this is where we're at, and thank God we're getting better. And, the first thing I wanted to do, whether I had it or not, was how can I help? Just like you, Ellen, everything you do is of service. I mean, you make the world such a better place. And so that's what the rest of us want to do. And that's a huge point in all this, is that every single person in the world right now gets to be a superhero just by staying home, just by washing their hands, by buying their elderly neighbors groceries if they shouldn't be at the store, calling a loved one and making them laugh, donating masks, saying a prayer for a healthcare worker. Like, every single person is vulnerable and will be impacted by this virus. And shouldn't we figure out a way to get together and make it better for each other instead of fight each other? I don't know. These are all the thoughts I've had. I've had a lot of time to think.
I am, you're my pal. And when I heard that you were sick, it made me so scared and so sad. Of course, anybody who gets sick, but then there is this beauty that you get to speak to us. And it's just like when everybody heard that Tom and Rita got sick, when we know somebody and there's a face to it, somehow we listen more, and you get to have this voice, and you get to share with everybody, hey, it happens to anybody. And y'all had been isolated long before everybody even really was told to stay in, so, and I had asked you how you thought you got it, and you have no idea, because, and then Carrie didn't get it, Willow didn't get it. Did you isolate?
There's 4 of us. Yeah, there's 4 of us living in this house. Jameson gets it the worst. He's 3. I get it second worst. I have asthma. I'm 40. I'm fit as a fiddle. And I don't really know what that means, but it's a saying. And then Willow and Carrie are walking around the house like it's a normal day. No symptoms whatsoever. So yeah, you're right. It's super real, and it's affecting not just people above 65 years old. And it, the social distancing is helping. It's working, and we have to keep doing it.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break, and more with the amazing Pink, who I think you cut your own hair, and I want to talk about it. We'll be back. Okay, let's talk about, everybody's panicked about so many things, but one of the most important things that people are talking about is, how do we cut our own hair? So what did you, I have a feeling you've cut your own hair before, though.
I used to do my own hair, but that was a long time ago. I don't think I ever I've shaved my head many, many times, but I don't think I've ever cut my own hair. But I don't know. I was drinking a lot, and I was feeling really brave. And Carrie had clippers in the bathroom, and come to think of it, I don't know what those clippers are for. I don't know if I should have used them at all. But I thought, like, in my head, I thought, oh, well, it'll just taper nicely. And then I figured out who I look like now. Tell me,
Who?
have you seen Vikings?
No.
Oh, there's this son that doesn't have the use of his legs. I think that I look like him. No.
All right. Well, now I'm going to watch the show just to see, because he must be a handsome young man. So you cut your own hair. Kerry cut his own hair. How did his turn out?
His turned out great. He looks great. I think mine's getting there, but I just didn't realize that I didn't have a guard on, so it just went from this to just bald. And so I thought, oh God, well, that's not the taper that I was looking for. So I just took it all the way back and down on both sides. So now I feel like I have like a mullet, which who cares? I did my nails today. That's something.
You look lovely. Now, is this your natural hair color, or did you dye it darker?
This is my natural hair color.
Really?
Which was a shock to me. Yes, I had no idea that this was what was happening underneath it all.
Mine is pretty, when I did a few bad color situations, which I'm sure you can relate to, because the more you color your hair light blonde, the more it falls out or off. So I had to shave my hair completely last summer because it was so damaged. And my hair, last summer my hair was completely shaved, and I was hoping it was gray so that it would look kind of light, and I was just going to leave it, but it's not. It's just dark like that. So that's what my hair is going to look like. Yeah. All right, we are back with my friend Pink. You did an amazing thing. You donated $1 million. You did $500,000 to a hospital in Philadelphia, right?
Mm-hmm. My mom worked there for 18 years, and it's in inner city. It's North Philly, and they don't have a lot of resources or a lot of ways to have donations like that. So it's meant a lot to my mom and to a lot of her friends that still work there. Apparently they were playing my music and dancing around, and that's really fun. But yeah, I mean, we're all trying to figure out ways to help, and there's a lot more that needs to be done. And I was on a call with some doctors today that was really fascinating, and you know, her main point was that testing matters for containment, and elections matter for leadership, and our healthcare workers are the real heroes, and doctors and scientists, and having access to healthcare matters, and loving ourselves and each other, and taking care of our mental health matters. And you know, 10 years from now, we have an opportunity that we could look back and change maybe started because of this. So that's what makes me hopeful.
Yep. I think that's what we have to have right now, is we have to have hope. And we will, as everyone says, this too shall pass, and it will. I love you. Thank you for everything you're doing. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Love you.
Hi, I'm Andy. Ellen asked me to remind you to subscribe to her channel so you can see more awesome videos, like videos of me getting scared or saying embarrassing things, like ball peen hammer, and also some videos of Ellen and other celebrities, if you're into that sort of thing. God!